Welcome to the match preview of the Liverpool versus Leicester game. Obviously, we wanted to get a preview out before the game. It is tomorrow. I bet everyone can't wait for after that humbling of a 3-0 against Newcastle. And we've got Phil to join us as well. So get your comments in and we'll get Phil in right now. Hello, Phil.
Yes, Reedy. You all right, mate?
Yes, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Good, thanks.
So, first point of view is obviously after this Newcastle game that we've just watched and seen how we've performed really, really bad. What is your kind of take on this Liverpool game? Are you hoping to get a good performance out of it, good result, or just to see something better than what we saw against Newcastle?
I think you're right, Reedy. I think we want to see something better than what we saw against Newcastle. I'm really old school, as you know. That trips to Liverpool back in the day, we were one of Liverpool's bogey sides. I'm going back to the 80s and the late 80s and the 90s. So I've got great memories of going to Anfield and us getting a result. Not so much recently. And again, Liverpool are having a strange season this year. So it is going to be an interesting one, but I think you hit the nail on the head, really, when you said, let's see something better than Monday. I know that you know, because we've been chatting off on Messenger, you know I'm really quite upset about Monday. So I am looking, something better is exactly right.
Yeah, and obviously I think there's both of us got two sides of the story, because obviously for me, I wouldn't say I'm just looking at the positive. I just see a different side to the picture of how we are at the moment. Obviously, it sounds like you are either on the verge of Rodgers out or you are still on the Rodgers out. So I'm not too sure what you said about that situation. But going from the Newcastle game, what has to change going into this Liverpool game? Because for me, it just felt like it was a one-off because of before the World Cup, we were flying for the last 7 games. And then we go into the MK Dons game. We get a 3-0 clean sheet there, which obviously is only MK Dons, but then you go to Newcastle and it just, for me, it seems like a very off game for us. What are you kind of expecting to change coming into this Liverpool game?
I think really, I think that's a good one. You've asked 17 questions in one there, and I don't know where to start, because let's start with the Brendan Rodgers in or out stuff, which is a real tough one with the Brendan stuff. I think, like I've said, my honesty is I'm still Brendan in, but I want Brendan to have plan B and plan C and to use managerial tactics and skill during a game to have an impact on the game. So I'm still Rodgers in if he'll do that. But I'm answering my own question here is I've given up now thinking Rodgers will make an impact during a game with his managerial decisions, Reedy. And that's why I think if you were watching what I'm saying there, you'd say, well, Phil, you're Rodgers out. And I'd go, I'm Rodgers in, but he needs to make decisions and impact during a game. And that's my biggest frustration with games like the Newcastle game and the first 8 games of the season. He doesn't seem really to make decisions during a game that anything more than you and me could make. I pay me £12.50 instead of £12 million a year, and I could make those decisions, really. As could you.
Yeah, I do get that side of the picture. But then, does it maybe come into the team choice of what he picked against Newcastle? I'm sorry, obviously you're not the biggest fan of Daka or Soumare. Do you think? Obviously, I remember you saying that Soumare was at fault for a few of the goals against Newcastle. But going into this Liverpool game, would you be putting in Soumare or would you be putting in the likes of Mendy or Ndidi coming into this game?
Again, I contradict myself because I'm always a big supporter of all Leicester players. I've never ever, apart from booed a Leicester City player in my life. And Soumare, I certainly wouldn't boo. And Soumare, I certainly would support and hope he does really well for Leicester. I hope he does well for us against Liverpool tomorrow night. I'm being honest with you, Reedy. I've seen a lot of football at Leicester, and Soumare doesn't he really isn't of a quality that I see that is good enough for a mid-table Premier League side, and certainly not one who's trying to get in the top half of the Premier League side. I think I rewatched. Obviously, I was at the match on Monday against Newcastle, and then I rewatched it against Match of the Day. And again, when you watch things on TV and when you watch highlights, you've got to be careful what you watch. But it reinforced my gut reaction walking away from the King Power Stadium was that Soumare hadn't had a great game. And then when I rewatched it, I was like, oh, for me, you're at fault for the first goal, as is Faz, but Soumare is certainly at fault for the first goal. And then at fault for the third goal as well. He's just too easily powered off the ball. I genuinely feel, Reedy, and I know you're a fan of Soumare and him and Daka, and we'll come on to Daka. I think Soumare is championship at best.
Okay, well, obviously we all have opinions and whatnot. And I think even Tom's on my side saying that the new players that obviously did come in last year, they didn't really get games last year, so now they're kind of slowly progressing into the team now, and I think that's where you kind of got to give them more of a chance. And as much as you maybe say that it was Soumare's fault for 2 of the goals, is that because you were just looking more into the Soumare kind of area?
Yes. Probably. But Reedy, why, if you're saying we're buying players to let them develop and let them grow into the team, I sort of understand that. We've had Soumare 18 months now. How long do you want to give the guy?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Even Ethan says here, Soumare is Premier level, just where within the Premier level, in my opinion. Maybe he isn't to the level that someone like Leicester does need. But for me, because of how Ndidi's performances have been, obviously with the injuries as well, and Mendy, as much as you say as well, Mendy has won the African Cup, isn't he? With Senegal, you can't really complain on why he's not in that side. But going away from the Newcastle and before we go into more the Liverpool side, James Maddison, what is going on here? Because we've heard from Brendan Rodgers' press conference the last few days, and he said that it's not the same injury as it was before the World Cup, and he's not trained with the lads whilst he's been back from the World Cup. So how has he have got this knock, and why is this anything like true, or do you really think this is the time where he's going to leave?
There's a lot of stuff, Reedy, with Premier League football now. I struggle to understand. There was a photo, and again, it is from a fan, but it was sent in to us. I don't know if you saw it, but it was a photo of Maddison driving into the King Power Stadium of just under 15 minutes to kick off on Monday. So my question is, if you're part of the squad, or if you and you're not part of the playing team, but you're turning up to a match day, I hate to say it, really. I hate to sound old, because I am old, but what if you're part of the squad? You're part of the squad. What's Maddison doing turning up 15 minutes to kick off on Monday, even though he's not playing? I know he's not playing. And then somebody else told me he left the stadium before the end of the game, as did I.
As did I.
Because it was awful. But
yeah,
I just, he's got a knee injury. He's not got any injury. He got a knock at the West Ham game before he went to the World Cup, but then he's on the bench for England, and then he's come back from that, and then it's something we haven't posted, really, because I don't want to make a massive deal of it. But on December the 17th, he put on his own Instagram that he was in Dubai, and there was a photo of him in Dubai on December the 17th, and I'm like, well, we played MK Dons on December the 20th, and again on December the 21st. I know, like, Rashford's playing for Man United. Most players who played in the World Cup are playing that week in those games. If he's got a knock, he's got a knock. But
you've just got to think, what is he doing at in Dubai when if he's got a knock, he should be in the training ground trying to fix the issue.
We've just got. It's about 6 miles from where I live. We spent £100 million on a training ground with the best physio facilities in the country, with everything you need. If you've got a knock, get back to Seagrave and get sorted, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I probably would say so myself. But obviously, he is back now, and like you said, he was at the Newcastle game, and I'm guessing he was probably laughing at that performance because it was very, very, very poor. But obviously, going into more the Liverpool side of the game for tomorrow, then obviously we've heard that Pratt won't be fit. Obviously, Madison's not going to be there. And then you obviously got the rest of the injuries that we've already got in James Justin Pereira and all that other injuries that we've not obviously had for a while. Going into the game, what is your kind of favourable lineup going into this Liverpool side?
I think the starting team is going to be fairly predictable. Again, for me, I would pop Mendy in there. I wouldn't play Sumari because I don't feel he's quality enough. I think Ndidi is the quality player out of the three, but he just perhaps isn't. I think Brendan's even said he's not match fit to start, which is an interesting one. Brendan said that, hasn't he, Reedy?
Who's this? Sorry, Ndidi.
But Ndidi, not
He
fit enough
said
to
that
start.
he said in because of the January is so hectic with fixtures, he will get back into the starting lineup, but I don't think he'll be in the bigger games, such as the Liverpool game tomorrow.
So I think for me, I would put Mendy in there again. I think Vardy had a better impact in the second half against Newcastle. So I'm always going to, at the moment, veer on the side of Jamie Vardy, starting up top up there. I thought Perez did quite well on Monday out of a bad lot. I actually thought Perez did quite well. So I think he is in there. A question we put out though, really, and again, I know me and you we're on different sides of the coin on this one, is we need a right winger.
Yeah.
Play Mark Albrighton. He's a right winger. But
Well,
I know you would say play Perez.
No, like I will say against Liverpool the last few years, I do remember seeing Albrighton starting in that lineup against Liverpool at Anfield. I think it's more because he's more of a wing back slash winger situation, so he can trap back in positions of someone like Castagna if he overlaps or whatnot. So I wouldn't be opposed to putting Albrighton in that team. But it depends how Rodgers sets up because somebody off Redman TV was asking me like how would we be more conservative or more aggressive against Liverpool? And the last few years we've been very, very passive and defensive against them, which obviously we're going to have to because Liverpool are a big threat in the attack. But do you think we're going to go back to the back five, or do you think we'll stick with the back four but be a bit more defensive in midfield maybe?
I think obviously a trip to Anfield is a big ask. So I can see Brendan going for nullify them and probably try to keep it level as long as possible, which is probably the right thing to do away from home at Anfield, really. If you can keep it 0-0 for as long as possible, then that is the way to pinch a draw, pinch a late away win. So I would say that I wouldn't be expecting Leicester to go gung-ho away at Liverpool. I think it will be. It is one to eke out a draw or a win. A draw away at Anfield would be a great result, don't you think?
Oh yeah, I've always said that even to get a draw, then obviously a win would be brilliant. But I don't think many fans, even non-Leicester fans, will expect us to go there and get a result really. So even if we get a point against them, is perfect. And we've been unlucky the last few years. We've been there. Obviously, a few things have not gone our way, and obviously we've lost the game. But there's always a chance to win there. But like you say, a draw is very, very takeable, if you know what I mean, at somewhere like Anfield. And then last of all, score prediction, because obviously you're predicting a close game against Newcastle, and that wasn't the case. So coming into this Anfield Liverpool match, what is your prediction? Let's go for head and heart, so you can be a bit more lenient.
You see, the heart says, back from memories of Leicester of old, that we can go to Anfield and we can pinch a win. a late win. And I genuinely think we could pinch a win at Anfield. I genuinely think that the heart is saying we could pinch a win at Anfield tomorrow. The trouble is, the head is saying, and this is the trouble at the moment, is that the head is saying, you see, really a lot of fans, it is what is Leicester this season? And we don't know the answer to that. At the moment, we don't know the answer to what Leicester have we got, because we've had the first half of the season where we were woeful, and that was relegation fodder. We had the second half of that first bit of the season where we were actually like, this team could qualify for Europe. And Newcastle was like, if it was a barometer, it was like, whoa, that was woeful. That was rubbish. That was
that's what I was saying. That's what I'm saying,
my
because
panic.
That Newcastle game for me was way off the first 7 games. That was a lot poorer than them 7 games at the start of the season for me. And that's why I'm saying it was a very off game for us against Newcastle, because I feel like we did put the work into the game, but obviously it just didn't work when we got to play the game. So into this Liverpool game, you don't know what will show up. You don't know if we'll go guns blazing, and you never know. We could be 2-0 up in the first 20 minutes, or we'll be very conservative and go 0-0 till 60 minutes, and we just get unlucky with a penalty or whatnot. So you never know. But what is your actual prediction?
So again, to a sort of answer you really, but the bit I love about why we do these things is because you can watch the videos back, and in 2 weeks' time, you can watch this video back. My heart is saying, well, we could pinch a win at Anfield. We could certainly get a draw there. My fox tingling senses, my spidey senses, are worried that we've got Liverpool tomorrow. We've got Fulham at home, who are in form on Tuesday. We've got Forest away. They're the next 3 Premier League matches.
Yeah.
My senses are tingling that we could lose all 3 of those, and we could be in mid-January in a real pickle. And we'll watch this video back and we'll see if that's right or not. I hope to goodness we're not that. But that is this season all over. We could win Anfield, or we could be 3 games away from a real mess.
It could be, and obviously with the 2 games coming up after Liverpool and Fulham, who look like they're doing brilliant at the moment for a team that's only just come up, and then Forest, who at the moment look absolutely dire. So we really, even if we don't get points against Liverpool tomorrow, we've got to be getting maybe 3 to 6 points, 3 to 6 points more after Liverpool to kind of, well, I don't know what the word is, to try and take away the loss against them tomorrow. But yeah. So Phil, did you say a prediction for your head, or did you just say we could lose?
Heart says 1-0 Leicester. Head says 3-4-1 to. If we play like we did against Newcastle, mate, we'll get trundled over. That was awful. So Heart says 1-0. Head says 3 or 4-0 to Liverpool.
Okay. I'm gonna go for Heart says 2-1 Leicester. We'll nick it in the last minute with a Daka goal. Off the bench.
No chance.
And then off the bench, because Vardy was starting, and Daka will come on and score the winner. And then Head does stay probably. I'll go for a 3-2. I want it to be an interesting game, but if we lose just by 1 goal, then I will take it every day of the week. But that is it for us, Phil. Appreciate you coming on. You'll be enjoying watching the game on the TV while I'll be freezing my nuts off at the game tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
Enjoy.
So make sure to check out the watch along that will be tomorrow. I'm not too sure yet who's doing it, but
Elijah is definitely.
Elijah's definitely doing it. That's fine. So catch him on the watch along tomorrow night for the game, and we'll catch you all on the next show. Come on, Foxes.
Come on, Leicester. Heart says we can do it.
Hopefully.
Head says Daka's never going to come off the bench and score, mate. Unless he's playing for.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everard's, Pucka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newbie & Co. Estate Agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.